All right, welcome everybody. I'm JD,
And I'm Gail.
and you're tuned in to Gail Force.
From deep inside Bunker Foxtrot, located somewhere under the swamps of Central Florida, it's Gail Force.
Well, how you doing this week, Gail?
I'm doing pretty good.
I'm
Staying
hanging in
busy.
there. I'm hanging in there. Haven't been back to the hospital. Everything looks pretty good. What do we got on the show today? I think we're going to talk a little bit about happenings in Venezuela,
Venezuela would be good.
and then Trump is threatening to close the border.
Yep.
So that's some news in there. And then there's some news in the crypto world, which we might want to,
Absolutely.
let everybody know about. But first, we have teamed up with two great, good-looking guys who started their own YouTube channel, and they call themselves the Sneaky Preppers. And these two guys, again, we've teamed up with, and they're going to put on a YouTube channel where it's not. I guess they're not really predicting the end of the world, but they just want to make sure everybody is prepared in case something happens.
Or be like a
Yeah.
homesteaders.
Yeah, people used to cook their own or grow their own food and
Can their
make their own
food.
stuff. Yeah, so we teamed up with these two guys. They're called the Sneaky Preppers. Look at those two good-looking guys.
Handsome guys.
Yeah. So they got a new channel coming up. It's going to be on YouTube. It's called Sneaky Preppers. I don't think they've done their first video yet, but we contacted these guys, and that's the good-looking one right there.
Yeah.
And there's the smart one right there. And if you would at least go to their channel and subscribe if you get a chance. And they'll be coming out some great videos on how to survive a upcoming economic collapse or slow down or something. I mean, it happens all over the world. It happens all the time. Every 60, 70 years, there's a big recession like the Great Depression during the 30s. And these guys will just help you get prepared for that.
Oh, yeah. So, definitely every 100 years in this one.
Yeah. So we just want to let everybody know that we've teamed up with these two good-looking guys. They call themselves the Sneaky Preppers, and they'll be bringing you some great videos on how to prepare for the upcoming collapse, if there is one. But more than likely there will be one. And but we got some more stuff coming today. We're going to talk a little bit about Venezuela. There's more happenings down there, and of course, Gail here is our conspiracy theorist. And he has some theories going on of what's happening in Venezuela, but I do like his thoughts. He's got some great ideas. So, what's first? Well, let's get into the news section. Real quick, while we're here on Gail Force, I'm not quite with it today.
You start your timer?
Yeah, I got the timer. Maybe I need to vibe a little bit more. Well, you're tuned in to Gail Force Creations. And you can find us on a couple different platforms. We're on BitTube. Just look in the description below. BitTube under Gail Force. We're on Facebook under Every Bit Matters. And of course, we're on YouTube under Gail Force Creations. So check us out. And if you would subscribe and give us a thumbs up, that would be great. And again, let's get into the news. News.
News.
And news today is Venezuela. And Gail was telling me earlier as we were prepping for the show that, a lot of people don't keep up with Venezuela because it's not, it has nothing to do much with America, but there is some global concerns that might be happening with Venezuela. And they've been having some problems down there because we know how the new Green Deal is working out just fantastic down in Venezuela. The Democratic Socialists are doing just fantastic down there.
Did you see the other day on that?
No.
They put a vote up on it, and it was like 57-0.
Yeah, nobody really voted. They voted present, but they wouldn't vote for the Green New Deal or whatever it is, New Green Deal, Green New Deal. I don't know what it is. But Venezuela is having some problems. Not only do they have problems getting food, they're having problems finding clean drinking water. And then lately, they've been a loss of power.
Right.
Now, my contention was it's just because this is how socialism worked. When the big wigs take control of a country and say, we're here to help all the poor people. I mean, that's what socialism, it's about all of us. We're all in it together. We're all going to sacrifice together.
Oh, yeah.
But we always know that the big wigs up top, they have their filet mignon and their champagne. They don't
And they
suffer.
give all the jobs to
That's it. All
their
their
sisters,
cronies.
brothers,
That's
cousins,
it.
nephew, and all that kind of
And
stuff.
that's what happened in Venezuela with the oil. Venezuela is one of the biggest oil producing countries in the world. I mean, they got
Producing,
tons.
no,
At one time, they were.
but
They have the reserves.
supply-wise, they've got one of the largest reserves in the world.
Yeah, but the problem is they don't have anybody that knows how to run the equipment because when Maduro and Chavez got into office, they nationalized it and put all their buddies in charge. So you had guys that have no idea how to refine oil or even pump oil or even keep the equipment running.
Probably you keep the equipment running because being a mechanic is not just.
Not anybody can just do it. You just can't go to oil rig and you used to work on cars. It doesn't mean you can work on the rigs.
Open the book up and it teaches you how to do it. Yeah. Right.
And this is what happens in socialist countries when government takes over the economy and takes over industry is they lose all the top talent. All the brain drain goes away. And this is what happened to the oil industry. And now they can't pump oil. They don't know what to do with it because all the big guys left because they knew their job wasn't taken away from them. Well, this is what's happening. This is my contention on what's happening with the electrical grid. That they only have one or two grids in the whole country, and most of it's the hydroelectric, right? And they've been having power problems. And my contention is they just don't have people to know how to fix all the transformers when they blow out. And Gail here has another theory because, of course, he's our conspiracy theorist. And he's going to tell us that he thinks it was a hacking job, an inside job.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your thoughts on Venezuela and why they have no power?
Well, a lot of this goes all the way back to Chavez, Hugo Chavez.
Yeah, that I would agree.
He nationalized everything. And he threw out Exxon and Citgo and all the big companies, and they didn't like that stuff. So for quite a while, they've been trying to undercut him, squeeze him out in the market.
Yep.
Just like everybody doesn't realize that Saudi Arabia is in big trouble because they have to have oil at over $70 a barrel for the needs of their country. Saudi Arabia and Venezuela both need oil over $70 a barrel.
Yeah, I agree.
And the reason Saudi Arabia is not in trouble is because we're buddy-buddy with them. And Saudi Arabia, we sell them military hardware.
Yeah, we get some of our dollars back.
All the planes and the bombs, and they're killing everybody in Yemen and all this kind of good stuff. Mm-hmm. But we were never buddy-buddy with all the people in Venezuela.
Yeah, that's because they went socialist.
Yeah. That, and not just they're socialist. Yeah, they're socialist, but they threw out all of the European and American, what they called imperial capitalists. That's the catchphrase for communists and socialists. Well, when they kicked out all the banks and bankers, all the Exxon and Citgo people,
all the big industries.
Yeah, well, this is true. They did lose some of the good people that could repair things and stuff like that. But the parts, they couldn't get spare parts to fix things either.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't care how good you are, but you don't get spare parts.
You just can't ship one.
That's right. You can't do anything with it. So it's people's brother-in-laws and cousins and stuff like that. Part of the problem, but over the years we've been cutting down on parts so they can't repair things and supplies. So things have been degrading way downhill, and because they can't sell things in the open market, people are starving to death.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we want to. Because Russia and China is so interested and so involved, we can't let them be interested and involved because.
So you're saying Russia and China? I know that some Russian planes landed with some soldiers.
Oh well, they've already set up one or two military bases.
So you're saying while there's a vacuum there, Russia and China are flying in and we're getting out. and making it worse.
Well, we've already got out. We're trying to starve them out to make them do it our way and put a puppet government in.
Yeah.
Well, China is the largest population in the world. They don't have huge oil reserves, so they're going to try and buy oil. Well, Russia's buddies with them, and Russia has a more mobile military. So Russia's in there trying to get oil for China because they got deals with China.
Yeah.
Now, I saw some reports earlier in the week. I don't have 100% proof, but they're claiming that some of the military, well, they say there's been sabotage.
With the power grid?
With the power grid. And they got it up and got it running, but then it went down again. And there's some local citizens that claimed that they saw people sabotaging things. So Russia's trying to help them get the electric grid up and running again. But here's the part that's got old John Bolton and everybody all in a twist up in D.C. Russia's trying to say that if it is sabotage, we got just the cure for that problem.
And that would be?
We've got soldiers there. We're going to have our soldiers guard it. And John Bolton's up there babbling his luck about how Russia's got to get out of Venezuela. All options are on the table, yada, yada, yada. Well, if you're not up to something, what are you all PO'd about?
I don't know. What would I be PO'd about?
Yeah. Right. So if you've got mercenaries or somebody in there doing something, and they just happen to get captured or something like that, and they're there to sabotage it, it's not they don't have total facts yet, total proof yet, but
yeah, this could be propaganda on Venezuela side, because they have to blame it on the capitalist countries not giving them the food that they need and the supplies they need.
If we don't have any underhanded things going on, why would we care if some military is guarding it? Yeah. If there's not it's like when a cop tells you, if you've got nothing to hide, why can't you do that?
Yeah, it's a no-win situation. I think.
It's bad.
We just gotta. I feel for the people in Venezuela, but they chose to have democratic socialism, and look what it gave them. Pretty much, everybody's poor, but there are reports that America is causing the problems. But
not causing. Let's say we're adding.
Yeah, we're agitating a little bit, but they chose to be the kind of country they want, so This is what they get. And if we don't have to help them. No, let's let Russia and China use their resources and get the oil. We really don't need the oil. We got enough of our own, but it would be kind of bad to have China and Russia in this hemisphere.
But the thing is I don't think them being this hemisphere is the problem. I think because they'd be getting the oil without going through the SWIFT system.
Yeah.
It's getting away from the homogeneity of the U.S. dollar. They would be going around the U.S. dollar, and this is the biggest thing they're worried about. They're getting around the petrodollar, and we're not getting our cut.
See, it seems like we're, and this brings us to the next thing here, and this is Trump is cutting aid to the Central American countries.
Correct.
Because we have a problem on the border. Mm-hmm. And I look at it different. I don't think we ought to be cutting aid to these countries. Just like we shouldn't be, cutting off supplies to Venezuela. We ought to be their friends, and we ought to say, hey, we want to give you as much as we can if you work for it to keep your people there.
To keep your people there.
Yeah, why don't we make another America like in South America and Central America? In other words, look, it's your government that's screwing you because there's no jobs there. And the people, I feel for them, in Central America, they're fleeing their countries because they're poor.
Yes.
And they know that if they come to America, we'll give them all kinds of free stuff because that's what we do. We give people free stuff.
The governments down there in Central America are giving them food and gas money to leave because it's cheaper to give them food and gas money than it is to take care of them.
So I think Trump's doing the wrong thing by cutting aid. Now, it might be good to threaten to cut aid.
Right.
But I think what we ought to do is get with the governments down there and say, hey, we're willing to invest. I love the Democratic word, invest.
Invest.
but say, hey, we would like to make some more plants down there, and maybe we'll bring some of our people down there and then put your people to work so your people don't have to leave your country to come to our country to get, free stuff. Because there is a border crisis going on, but this is the same thing we're doing in Venezuela. It's like we're not helping them, we're making it worse. And then again, there is that argument that if we help them and keep giving them stuff, that they'll never change.
Correct.
So the question is, how do you give them stuff? How do you entice them to keep their people there and to go with our type of economic system instead of like Russia's system or China's system, because they're all based on military. If Russia comes in there or China comes into Central America or Venezuela, then it's the government runs everything. We got to find some way to let the people be, as Bernie would say, let people run the country. So,
but the thing
this
is,
is
you're talking about Central America. Now, if you go back a generation, who was behind FARC?
You'd have to remind me. Why does that sound so familiar?
Oh, they were the ones that was against the leaders down there in Central America.
Oh, yeah.
And we financed the military overthrow, and now we're paying the price.
Now, yeah.
For 40 years ago, sticking our nose into their government.
Just like Russia get into our elections, we got into other people's elections. We don't heed our elections. Yeah, we don't heed our own advice. So,
we got down there and we armed the doggone rebels. And stuff.
Yeah, and look, it's not paying off. But this is a what they say, a double-edged sword.
Right.
I mean, do we stop? Because look, if we stop giving them aid, it's going to make things worse, and they're really going to want to come up here. So I think we need to find out some way to, like Chile. Chile, we need to go and look how Chile turned their economy around. Because Chile at one time was a military dictatorship. And it was as bad as Venezuela. Well, now they've turned around and pretty much went to a free market capitalist, not quite, but Chile now is really, their economy is just really going. So we need to find out how Chile did it.
China. Actually, Sweden's got away from socialism.
Yeah, they're
going to a capitalist type society.
Yeah, more of a free market. Works. Yeah, more of a free market. I wouldn't say capitalist, but more of a free market. It's a mixed economy.
That's a
whole other show we need to do.
But the thing is once you get away from total socialism and get towards a free market capitalism, not total capitalism, but a free market thing.
A free market where the government's limited.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to own property. You're allowed to own a business. They don't take 90% of it.
That's it. Yeah. We need to lower taxes as much as we can. And I feel for the people in Venezuela. I feel people for Central America. And apparently, the latest news is there's a lot happening on our border. And the news here now is that President Trump is talking about closing the border.
Closing the border.
Now, how would that happen? You just put the military up there and just say closed for business?
Something like that.
Everybody said there's not a crisis going on down there. But if we read some of the reports here, and you can get it on the news, that a lot of border towns are just being overrun by this invasion of migrants coming up. And again, you have to feel bad for these people that traveled thousands of miles, left their home country. But then again, you have to ask yourself, why did they leave?
Them to do it?
That's it. Why did they leave their country, and why are they coming here? I mean, you would think that they would go to Venezuela because you get everything pretty much free there. I mean, that's the really democratic, the biggest socialist party there is Venezuela. You think they'd be heading there. Why are they heading to America? But there is a border crisis, and Trump now is thinking about closing the border. And I guess that would require the military.
Probably.
Since we don't have a wall that we can just shut the door, I mean, how do you close the border? And he's pretty mad at Mexico for allowing these people to come up. But again, if he's cutting aid to these countries in Central America and the people have no hope, I guess they travel to where they think they can get some kind of hope. So, again, it's a double-edged sword. Which way do you go? Do you help these people out in their country, or you encourage them to come here? It's well, I don't know. It's all going to build up, and which might, and again, we want to go back to these two looking guys that are starting their show. that giving away all this free stuff and all these people coming in from other countries, that we're going to have some kind of economic problem in the near future.
Oh yes.
Now, we're not predicting it, but it'd be nice if people prepared for it in case something happens. So we need to check out Sneaky Preppers here. These two guys below here, the good-looking one and the smart one over here, will show you how to prepare for an economic collapse if it happens.
We'll put a link underneath the video.
Yeah, it'll be there. Don't worry. We'll find some way to do it. But you know, they're cutting aid, and now they're going to close the border, and then all these people coming in the country, and you know, our resources are, you know, what, we're 22 trillion in debt
minimum.
You know, and then corporate debt is so high, and the economy is about to. It's just it could be a mess here pretty soon.
Here's something I'd like for somebody to do. I just saw a video the other day. Didn't bring this up to you, but this one journalist was in Sweden, and he was interviewing the people all over the place about immigrants. And everybody he interviewed was for it. But then he asked for their address so they could send an immigrant to live in their house. They were all against it. Well, if you're all for immigrants,
they tell you that you ought to be a good person and let these people in,
but not at your house.
But not in your backyard.
Not in my backyard. Not
That's
in my
funny.
house.
I just read something about Feinstein. You know, our great senator from California, Feinstein. And a lot of immigrants showed up at her house and said that they thought that she had a sanctuary house, and she had to call the police on them. You know, it's fine if, you know, do as I say, but not as I do. So, yeah, people say, yeah, it ought to be, you know, we ought to let people in and take care of them. But then when you ask them, are you less
take care of them?
And that's what I say about the Green New Deal. Everybody says, well, we need to force everybody to drive electric cars and ride horses, but I don't see them doing it. It starts with you. I mean, if you really want to change things, it starts with you. So start riding a bike, you know, start letting the illegals into your house and live there, you know. I mean, that's the only way you're going to change. You can't force people to do it. When people try to force me, like my wife, when she tries to force me to clean, I ain't going to. Yeah, I'll get to it in 6 months.
That's why you go in the backyard and get in the lawn chair, right?
People don't like to be forced to do things, but
I'll clean up the backyard with a leaf blower.
You know, it's great if you have great intentions. You know, we ought to go green, and we ought to let
the road to hell is paved
with good intentions. But unless you are willing to do it, that's it. I'm not going to give up my car. I'm not going to give up my AC unless you do. Now, if you start doing it, then I might be convinced to do it because you're telling me I need to do it.
I'm not telling you to do it.
That's it. I'll follow your example.
Yeah, lead by example.
Yeah, and that hasn't happened in 100 years. Yeah. All right, as we're running out of time, it's time we now to go get into, what is it? We got to keep up a little bit on crypto, because that's kind of why we started this channel. So what's in the crypto news?
Well,
because I know you've been talking about cryptos and some of these exchanges, and he's even got me, folks. I went on some of these exchanges and took my coins off and put them in a wallet. Because I guess there's a lot of exchanges in the crypto world that are having
problems,
having a hard time. So it might be a good idea to.
Well, there's one over in South Korea, BitHub or BitThumb, I should say. They claim that there was a hack for $13 million worth of EOS was stolen. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that makes in the last 3 months about 3 or 4 exchanges that claim to be hacked. Well, if you have almost nothing in your hot wallet and everything in a cold storage wallet.
What's the difference between those two, real quick? For people that might have just found our show. By the way, if you just found our show, if you just give us a like and a subscribe, that'd be great.
Okay. It's a wallet. Okay, so hot wallet means it's an active thing, just like, say, your computer is there and you've only got a simple password and don't have antivirus. That's kind of the way their day-to-day business is. Now, a cold wallet means it's taken offline, so nobody can get at it in the middle of the night. It's like you keep
it on a USB card or something.
Well, let me show you what a wallet looks like. This is a keep key cold storage wallet.
That's cold storage.
Correct.
That's not connected to the internet right now.
Bingo. There's no cords connected. You can have 500 viruses on your computer.
And you have coins on there, digital coins.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
people can't get to it and hack to it just by
that's
looking
like
at it.
when you call my house, and if I don't answer the phone, you're going to talk to the man in the box called the answer machine.
See, it's like me. This is not a cold storage, but what I have on here is a simple program that I use just for quick transactions. I don't keep my coins on my phone because in case I lose my phone or whatever, but I can still do transactions because I keep a small amount so I can send or do it. But this is connected to the internet and, could be vulnerable to hacks.
But now
compared to what you have there, which is the hard.
Yeah, it's a hardware.
Definitely cold storage. Yeah.
That's a hardware wallet.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you can have a semi cold storage on your phone, and the newer phones you have to enter in facial recognition or a fingerprint, and that can be almost as secure as a hardware wallet.
That's true.
But anyway, back to the crypto exchanges.
So what's going on with the exchanges now?
Well, we've had 2 or 3 in the last couple of months that claimed they're hacked. To come to find out, they weren't hacked. They had people demanding to have their cryptocurrencies and tokens sent to them so they could put them in a wallet in their own possession, and they didn't have them. So because
you're saying they didn't have them.
Right.
And some people are saying, well, no, it takes them a while to get it out of their cold storage and to transfer it. It might take a couple of days, couple of weeks.
Okay.
But you're saying that some of these exchanges actually don't have the coins the people thought they bought?
I put it
How
away,
could that
but
be?
let's pretend this was my key.
Okay.
Okay. It would take me all of about 2 minutes to plug it into the USB port and type in the password and PIN number, and I could take them off my hardware wallet and send them to you.
Yeah, but you're not.
It don't take 3 or 4 days.
But you're not a big company that has to go through, this.
Right.
This person, and you have to go to this department, and you have to go to this department, and you need 16 people with their thumbprints and eye scans. Maybe it could take weeks or months to get the coins out.
And I'm going to win the lottery 2 weeks in a row using the same.
And I see your concern because Canada had that one.
And come to find out.
And then the guy died, and apparently he's the only one who knew the key.
And come to find out they found the stuff.
Oh, did they?
Yes. And guess what? The tokens and coins have been missing for months.
For a while, huh? So you're saying this is happening to other exchanges. So what you're actually telling us is that maybe it might be a good idea that if people have coins on exchanges where they're doing day trading, and you have coins that you're not currently trading with, that you just leave on the exchange, that you might want to do what with them?
You want to take and put them at minimum. You want to put them on your computer on like Exodus or Atomic Wallet.
In other words, don't trust the exchanges.
No. That's just like if gold and silver. You don't want to have that. You want that in your own possession, because if the banks close and it's in a safety deposit box, the bank can open the safety deposit box and take your silver and gold.
Yeah, that's been done before. But it's like the Wild West out there. I mean, these exchanges, they're not, like you said, the SEC is not behind them, the governments aren't behind them, so you're playing, it's like the Wild West. You don't know if that exchange is going to be there. But now there's wallets to where you can actually trade through your wallet, so you really might not need an exchange.
Correct. Yeah, you can.
You can do your, what is it? Shape shift or whatever.
Changeling.
Now you might pay a little more, but you can pretty much
swap.
So it might be safer to put it in a wallet.
Well, actually, because while you're doing, if you're doing like Shapeshift or Changeling or Atomic, let's say you were to take and say, I'm going to spend 1 Bitcoin, which is, let's say, $4,000, and I'm going to buy 100 Litecoin.
Yeah.
It'll be more than that. But anyway.
Yeah.
300 Ethereum, that would be about $4,000. So the program is going to charge you a little more, but the transaction either goes through and you get the Ethereum for your Bitcoin, or after so much time, it cancels it out and you've still got your Bitcoin.
So you could pretty much do, I wouldn't say day trading, but you can pretty much trade through your wallet. Why do you need an exchange?
Because,
and like you're saying, you can't trust these exchanges now because we've seen they can be hacked or whatever. So you're saying get your coins. If the coins are sitting there and you're not doing nothing with them, get them off the exchange.
Get them off
Bind
the exchange,
a wallet.
pull a wallet.
Matter of fact, we'll put a link below for the Atomic wallet and the Exodus wallet. They're two great wallets that cover a lot of coins.
Oh, I think the Atomic's like over 100 coins.
Yeah, and if you're not trading with the coins and they're just sitting on some exchange, get them off the exchange because it's like gold. If it's not in your possession, you don't own it.
Correct.
And a piece of paper doesn't mean nothing, and just because it's on an exchange doesn't mean you own it. The exchange owns it. If that exchange goes down,
on an exchange, you're not really trading Bitcoin or Litecoin.
Yeah.
You're paper trading.
Yeah. So, if you got a good amount on any exchange, get them off there.
Right.
And put them in a wallet.
If you're not planning on doing a bunch of day trading or something with it, or swing trading or whatever,
and
get it off.
And if you want to do that, you can do that within your wallet. You might pay a higher fee, but it's safer because you're in control of your money.
Right. So what happens if these? Well, I've got $10,000 in cash sitting on Coinbase. Okay. And maybe 6 months or a year from now, when they come back up, you might get your money.
Yeah, maybe. Ooh. Well, interesting. So what else is happening in the crypto world? Anything else? Because we're getting up against the clock.
It's just that things are pretty stable. Bitcoin went above 4,100 for a while.
Yeah, I saw that. What's it at right now?
$4,094.
So it's
yeah. And Litecoin had popped up. Let's see if they're going to give a price here. But I think Litecoin on the thing, it was, let's see. It was as high as, it went over $61 for a while. So yeah, it was, Bitcoin hit 41 and Litecoin hit 61. And then they came back down a few cents. But hey, they're not dropping down. The reason all these people are talking about there's going to be a big collapse is for the simple reason that there is just too much adoption. Yes, $62.17 was on.
Shh. I gotta piss Gail off every once in a while. Don't tell him I did this.
$63. Okay.
He hasn't caught it yet.
Yeah. But the reason there hasn't been a big collapse is because it's being used and people are taking their coins off the exchanges. And
well, it's a good idea. I took mine off, but I don't know what to do with Verge. You haven't found out what to do with Verge, so.
Yeah, Verge has got kind of a strange wallet setup.
Yeah, so I'm not too worried about that. But I got my coins off, and we're getting to the end of the show, and we want to let you know that we've teamed up with two good-looking guys right down here.
Handsome devils.
Yeah, see, that's the handsome one, and that's the smart one there. And they're starting a new channel called Sneaky Preppers. And if you would, you can check them out on YouTube, and we'll put a link below. And we're not saying there's going to be an economic collapse, but like a good Boy Scout or Girl Scout, since they're allowed to join Boy Scouts now, it's better to be prepared. So if you would check out Sneaky Preppers, and hopefully we'll have their first really new video and their new channel coming out and all kind of goodies. So check them out. Learn how to grow your own food, how to keep your own food, how to have the supplies you need in case something does happen. So check out Sneaky Preppers. And again, we appreciate everybody watching Gail Force here. And there it is.
So this is Gail
And of
Force
course, I
Creations.
can't turn the damn thing off.
Technology, isn't it wonderful? Gail Force Creations. And on VidTube it's Gail Force, and on
keep it going.
on
How the
Facebook,
hell? We need an engineer here. Where's our engineer?
and on Facebook it's Every Bit Matters. So
I'm working it. Hang
with
on.
that ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling,
Oh, there we go. You
want
gotta
to
hit
wish
that.
you a happy and healthy life.
And cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Oh, what's tomorrow? We'll have to do a video for tomorrow.
Is it Bernie's birthday? No, wait a minute. It's April Fool's Day.
See you later. See ya, everybody. Have a good one.